Louis Bloom, popularly called Lou, is a broke, unemployed petty thief in Los Angeles where he lives. At first glance, Lou strikes one as a reasonable, pleasant guy with great oratory skills, able to convince the inconvincible. He has a strange confidence surprising for his person, like stealing from a construction site and attacking the security man who apprehends him, stealing his wristwatch in the process, selling the stolen construction materials to a scrapyard, and still has the audacity to ask the foreman at the scrapyard for a job. As expected, the foreman rejects his job application despite his charisma and eloquence of speech. He tells Lou categorically that he doesn't hire thieves. With dejection disguised with a smile, Lou leaves the foreman's office. On his way home, he sees a car crash and pulls over. A group of policemen are trying to pull a woman out of the car, which is on fire. As Lou walks towards the scene of the accident, freelance photojournalists arrive at the scene with their equipment. Lou asks one of them, Joe Loader, what they do with the footage. Joe tells him they sell the footages to local news stations. Lou sees the footage aired on television and an idea starts forming in his head. He steals a bicycle and takes it to a pawn shop in exchange for a camcorder and a police scanner with which he starts recording newsworthy incidents. After 2 unsuccessful attempts, he finally hits a jackpot when he records the aftermath of a carjacking incident and sells it to KWLA6. A news station, Nina Ramana, the news station director who has been in and out of stations and desperately in need of ratings to retain her job, tells Lou the station is especially interested in footages with gory scenes taken in affluent and white neighborhood, as people don't care about poor or non-white neighborhoods. To achieve exceptional results, Lou tampers with crime and accident scenes, trespassing and infringing on the victim's rights. On one occasion, he carries a body involved in an accident from the point of impact to a point that would give his footage a better view. On another occasion, he goes into the house where a domestic killing took place and sneaks past the crime tape to take footages of the gory scenes inside the house without the permission of the house owners. When asked why, he says the door was opened, so he entered. With time, he buys a faster car and gets newer and better equipment as his work gains prominence. To up his game, he hires an assistant, a homeless, desperate young man who complains about Lou's way of doing things from the get-go. Lou becomes a threat to Joe, who meets Lou one day and boasts about his new equipment, achievements in the field of freelance journalism, his connections, and his newly acquired vans. He makes an offer for Lou to join his company, which Lou blatantly rejects. Understanding Nina's desperation for higher rating for her station, Lou pressures Nina to date him, threatening to stop his services to her station if she refuses to sleep with him. Nina feels disappointed when Lou misses out on capturing the footage of a very important plane crash incident. The pain of missing the incident mixed with Joe's mockery of Lou at the plane accident scene makes Lou furious. In revenge, Lou sabotages Joe's van, leading to Joe getting involved in an accident. Lou, unmoved at the sight of Joe, covered in his own blood as a result of the accident, films Joe as he is being wheeled into an ambulance, despite protests from Rick, who think it is not right since Joe is their colleague. Not long after this, Lou gets wind of a home invasion in Granada Hills. He rushes to the scene with Rick, hungry for the news he'd produce from it. He counts himself lucky to get to the scene before the police. As they hide to film, they hear gunshots from inside the house. The invaders then run out into an SUV. Lou captures every bit of the scene and rushes into the house to capture the dead victims and other crime details in the house. He leaves the scene before the police get there. He edits out the part of the video where the perpetrators are featured from the footage and presents the edited footage to Nina, who is eager to break the news, even when her crew are concerned about the ethics of the video. As a reward for the video, Lou demands for more money plus a credit for the footage, which attracts the attention of the police, who are investigating the homicide case, and they visit Lou to question him about the footage. Lou tells the police he didn't know the scene was a crime scene and that he went inside the house to see if he could help. He tells the police that he didn't see the gunman clearly and he doesn't have the film containing information about their car. He, however, gives the edited version of the footage to the police at their request. Lou searches for the name and address of the gunman online using the information he gathered from the footage. The next day, he sets out with Rick earlier than usual to trail the gunman. While on the journey, Lou commends Rick for his commitment and enthusiasm towards his job and announced to him that he is now the vice president of the company and he is raising his pay to any amount Rick says. Rick says $75 and later wishes he mentioned a higher figure. As they trail the gunman, Rick discovers that Lou plans to make $50,000 from the footage he is about to do and that he didn't release the footage containing information about the gunman to the police, so he could make more money from it. Rick tells him to give him half of the money or he would turn him into the police. Lou agrees hesitantly. After trailing the men to a restaurant, which is public enough to Lou's satisfaction, he calls the police and starts filming with Rick. The police arrive at the scene and before long, a gunfight ensues between the police and the gunmen. In the exchange, one of the gunmen dies and the other escapes in the SUV while the police give a hot chase with Lou and Rick tailing and filming. In the chase, there is a collision between the police car and the SUV, killing all the policemen. Lou parks his car and approaches the SUV with his camera, then beckons to Rick to come down from the car and take an up-close footage, claiming that the man in the car is dead. The gunman shoots Rick as he tries to take a footage and then attempts to escape as he hears police siren, but the police come to the scene and shoot him dead. As Rick lay dying, He accuses Lou of seeing that the gunman was not dead. Lou replies while filming Rick that he cannot jeopardize his company's success to retain a non-trustworthy employee. He claims that Rick would have used the information he knows about him against him. Rick dies and Lou leaves the scene void of emotion. Leo takes the footage to Nina, who is doubtly impressed. The police try to confiscate the footage, but Nina would hear nothing of it. She defends her right to own the footage and proceeds to air it in the news. Nina later hears that the real story of the homicide is the case of drugs robbery, not home invasion. In order to lend more resonance to the story, Nina insists on the home invasion perspective as the perspective the station is choosing to see the incidents from. The police interrogate Lou about the footage. Lou fabricates a story, saying the men in the SUV followed him, and when he discovered they were the ones, he alerted the police. The interrogating detective disbelieves Lou's narrative but has no evidence against him. Lou goes on to expand his business by employing interns with new vans and addresses them.